Hello, I'm Adriana. In order to become a clear channel for the divine, I have worked on my issues every single day for the past 8 years. Doing this work has allowed my vibration to raise to the point where I can connect and communicate very strongly with that divine energy that is supporting our growth, our guides, spirit. And today's reading is for an individual who needs some positive or is looking for some positive encouragement. So let's go ahead and align our energies. This reading is coming to you so that you can help to bring more positive energy into your environment as well. Okay. So I'm getting that we need to just sit and tune into our hearts for a second. So if you can shift your focus inward and take some breaths into this space and just ask yourself what's going on. It doesn't have to be, the answer doesn't have to be what you think. It should be just whatever is in there. Just allow it to be. And surround it in this warm, loving, light presence. Light or dark, whatever's in there, just surround it almost like an inner tube of warm light. Just surround it in there. Okay, please help us with a message for this soul right now. Okay, what is going on? 10 of Cups, 7 of Swords, 3 of Wands. Where do I go? 3 of Pentacles. How do I get there? Okay, looks like this is a question about leaving the nest, metaphorically or literally. What's going on with relationships in the environment? 4 cards there too. 2 of Cups, 3 of Swords, Princess of Wands, and the Queen of Cups. Okay, and then challenge energy. I will show you these cards. I just want to get them all out at once. Challenge energy. Prince of Wands. Okay, 6 of Pentacles. And then overall spiritual lesson and outcome. All right. 9 of Wands. Okay, stick to your guns. That is the overall message here. Stick to your guns. The story that it looks like to me right here, and I usually draw 4 foundational cards and 3 relationship cards, but now I drew 4 relationship cards and 4 foundational cards. So it seems to me that a lot of the energy that needs to be resolved right now has to do with relationships. And we're seeing plenty of that as well. We're looking at essentially, if this were like a kid's story, this is about wanting to leave the family home, wanting to leave the family patterns, or wanting to leave the family's way of doing things, and not sure of how to do that, how to get there. So it's like it's time to grow. You know that this is the case. And you may be taking practical steps to make this happen, our 3 of Pentacles here. But inside, there is this questioning of whether the destination is right or the goal is right. There's a lot of self-doubt happening. And what that self-doubt is doing is it's not being practically addressed. So it feels like everything you're doubting, if you were to write that down on paper and then look at it and say, okay, well, if that's true, what are the steps that I need to take to resolve that? You would actually see solutions very quickly. You would see ways out of your dilemma very quickly. But instead of doing constructive work like that, the energy is just kind of going around and around and around. So, and a lot of this has to do with family patterns. There may have been a lot of passive energy, or may be a lot of passive energy in your family. And what do I mean by passive? I mean, it's the kind of energy that lets things happen to it rather than going out to get the result they want, or doing it. You know, this is more just, we sit back and everything happens to us. I don't want to say it's completely on the side of victim. It doesn't feel like that to me, but it does feel like that this is more of a someone who's willing to like sit in the back seat or sit in the back row and just kind of watch things unfolding rather than being up in the front row trying to influence or trying to drive the car. They're just more in the back. And that's part of the reason why you're having a hard time really taking the action, taking the risk, because it's so foreign to this family pattern. And there's also this idea that if I do that, then I will not be safe. And it's like the family has never supported healthy risk taking. Everything has kept you very safe, very incubated, very much in the nest. And when we look at the relationships, it's really interesting because two of cups, then the Three of Swords, then the Princess of Wands, and the Queen of Cups. So really, this Two of Cups relationship here I believe it's this relationship. These are the two people we're talking about. But in the middle, we've got the Three of Swords. Okay, too much. The Queen of Cups represents that maternal energy. This is the mother of the family, the mothering energy, whether it's female or male, doesn't matter, but it's the mothering energy. And this energy is coming across as so loving and so strong that it's almost suffocating, that it doesn't allow the space for growth, because Princess of Wands, all the Princess of Wands wants is more growth, more chance to explore, more chance to make mistakes. And it's like these two speak a completely different language. This Princess of Wands wants to learn through experiences and is not afraid to get a little scratched or cut or fall over. The Queen of Cups is a totally different species, wants to learn by sensing, wants to learn by feeling, and maybe being more emotionally in touch with others. This is the tomboy energy that's running around, climbing trees, falling out of the trees, getting up, running over there, running over here. And the Queen of Cups is at home, you know, maybe sitting with a sister or a friend or something, and they're just having this very deep conversation. So the experience goes deep on the inside. And there's a lot of secrets down there as well that this Princess of Wands is not aware of. And so the Queen of Cups comes across as very silent, reserved, and kind of held in. I don't feel like there's a lot of warmth between these two, although they're capable of it. There's not a lot of warmth between the two. And a lot of it is just because they don't understand each other. You see the Queen dipping her toe in the water, but you know, unless she's related to Moses, she probably wouldn't try to walk across it. Where the Princess of Wands has no fear in walking. And so it's really the Queen that's afraid to take steps because it's just different for her. And yet the Princess of Wands can't wait to go. And what happens when these two get into a relationship together is that, oh, this is kind of perfect actually, because cups are usually a feminine energy, and wands are usually a masculine energy. And look, they both got green capes. Well, moot point, because she's got a green cape too. Anyway, when these two energies come together, one of them has to let go, or one of them, it's like they don't understand where the other one is coming from. And so they either feel like they have to compromise themselves to make the other happy, or in making themselves happy, they're making the other person suffer. It's just like, because they don't understand each other and they're not cut from the same cloth, there is no coming together. There is no point of mutual understanding or mutual attraction. their worlds and what they consider real is so different. This Queen of Cups may not think that the real world is truly this physical world, whereas the Princess of Wands is like, but that's all there is this physical world. Queen of Cups may be so lost in her own concerns and so just caught up in her feelings that she doesn't always show up to Mother. And so when a mother doesn't show up to Mother, she does not see who that child truly is. Because mothering isn't about the mother. Teaching isn't about the teacher. It's about the child, or it's about the student. You have to look at where the person is to see what they want. When this is getting off topic for a second, but when I used to do lesson plans for my piano students a long time ago, it would never work. First of all, the students would not have practiced, or they wouldn't have practiced what I thought they were going to practice. And I would be trying to force them into a curriculum, which was not what they needed. When I just sat there and was present with where they were, how much they'd practiced, where their mood was, what was really captivating them, we had really rich, engaging piano lessons. But that's because I wanted to make it about them. When I tried to make it about me, we both suffered because I was fighting and pushing. They were not receptive, which made me kind of push and fight more. It was kind of this idea. Because I wasn't trying to find the common ground, and it's my job as teacher to do that. It was just this constant struggle. And at the end, neither one of us got anything out of it. So, what needs to happen here? Okay. Our challenge is already, our answer is already given. What needs to happen here so that these two people can be free? 6 of Pentacles and Prince of Wands. Now, the princess has evolved into being a prince. She is ready to take action. She's, in fact, in motion. And there is a... I am getting the word pentacle, so this does have to do with what one feels is owed. What does the mother feel that the daughter owes her? What does the daughter feel that the mother owes her? And I'm saying mother and daughter because that's how the cards came up, but it could be mother and son as well. It could be father and daughter. Let's not complicate things, Adriana. So there may be a question of resources that you may need to figure out a way, if you're the one leaving, to become more financially independent, to perhaps take more of a financial risk on than you would. And I'm saying that with a huge caveat because you still need to be smart in your choices, all right? This isn't about going and buying like 20 lottery tickets. You need to be smart, but you need to be taking steps that really release you from this tie, this dependent tie. And a lot of times pentacles are also a metaphor for what we feel we're owed or what we feel we're worth. And in this case, the Queen of Cups has a hard time letting go. But what they need to understand is that that's exactly what this person needs. And it's like if they feel like if they let go, it's actually a reflection. It will be a bad reflection on them. And if you are this prince, princess of wands, it can really help if you communicate this, that no, this is actually really what I need right now. I need your support to just be myself and to go the way I need to go, even if I end up making mistakes. This doesn't reflect badly on you. In fact, I'll respect you more. I'll love you more because you're letting me go. This is kind of like a Cancer, Sagittarius couple going on, where they want different things. Cancer wants to hold, Sagittarius wants to explode. There's something else in our 6 of Pentacles card here. I'm also getting that you're really tired of this way of interacting. You're tired of the back and forth. You're tired of having to hold in part of yourself, but then also let the other person down. It's like you need to really shift all of that, and perhaps even creating some distance would be healthy, because although for the Queen of Cups there is no thing as physical distance because that emotional tie is still right in here. but just something to give, to take the pressure off, something to give a little bit of respite. Because although you need to stick to your guns for what's true to you, this is also about what happens when you refuse to see things from the other person's point of view. And even just understanding that, hey, we may never see eye to eye, we may always disagree, but just being willing to step outside of your own little box. This guy's really caged in. It's likely that he's on the losing side of the battle because everything is burned up behind him, but he's like that last survivor that will not give up. And when you hold on to your position too strongly, then either you create more conflict or you prevent the growth from happening, you prevent the flow from happening. Like I was telling you with the piano teaching, the more I would try to force my lesson plan, the more resistance I got, the more discord, the more disharmony I got. And I wanted to mention, there's something about the way the camera flips this. This actually looks like some music notes. If they were connected here, this would be like 2/8 notes. So it's finding the flow, finding the music. And what makes music exciting is that there is this moment of discord or this sound that doesn't sound quite right, but it's pulling to have that happy resolution at the end. And so that's what I feel is pulling here, is that we do want to have a resolution. We had double threes, which 33, that's the master teacher number, and the 6 of Pentacles, teaching, balance, and harmony. That's truly what we want. But it's how do we get there together without compromising each other, but allowing growth where there needs to be growth? Are there any final messages in this conversation? Make sure to lead with your heart. Make sure to lead with appreciation for what the other has done for you, whether you're on the mother side of things or you're on the child side of things. Start from positive, and then that can open the door for, but I'm feeling like we're seeing this differently. This is how I see it. I'm really needing this to happen this way. I don't need you to agree. I don't need you to be on board, but this is really where I need to go. And I'll love you no matter what, if you disagree or you agree. But just know that your support means a lot to me, even if you don't agree with my choice. Something along those lines. And I feel like there's a bigger message that your soul is trying to communicate to you here. Cernunnos, rebirth, Ace of Cups. And Cernunnos can be, it's the equivalent of the devil in some decks, but it's also raw energy. What are you going to do with the raw energy? As you find yourself stretching your limbs and stretching out your wings and wanting to try these new horizons, you are being reborn into a new state of divine love, into a new state of self-acceptance for this new person. And that's why you have to go on this journey. You have to see what's there. There's a new part of yourself that you're just dying and waiting to meet. And this is also part of why you're feeling so antsy. It's like this energy is being released and it has nowhere to go, and you've been trying to hold it down in order to make someone else's life a little better or easier, but it's coming to a breaking point. And the rebirth is really about cutting off the past, cutting off those elements of the past that don't serve you anymore. And where we see a lot of resolution here, where we have the 2 of Cups, those two energies coming together, we have the rebirth of the self. So releasing yourself from needing to hold your energy in or differently to make someone else's life a little smoother. You're releasing that. And then who do you become? That's really what you're on a journey to find out. We start being conditioned from about age 5 into patterns and dysfunction and conditioning. and we lose our essential soul self. And that's what our journey is really about, is finding that essential soul self. And it's through relationships, pulling off the old patterns, pulling off the belief systems that they create, that gives us the release back to our true self. And that's why I believe this is a child coming out. It's that inner child being reborn, and you being able to truly see who that inner child is and embrace them more fully. So where you may have grown up and gotten used to the role that you played in a family, now it's about coming back to the essence of who you really are, so that your relationships can be on a more truthful, authentic foundation. There's another message coming out here with the rebirth card, so just give me a second. I feel that you're really tired of who you've become. I feel that you are really ready to take that outfit off and put on one that is more you, you know, maybe more dazzling, a little more eccentric, or maybe not, maybe a little bit more subdued. But you're so ready, you're so tired of this old way of being. And when you get to that place, you know that you're on the right track when you feel that itching of the soul that just wants you to come forward. And what is the significance of being tired of that role? That tells you that something else is waking up. And you may not have the full picture of what exactly is waking up, what exactly in you is waking up, what kind of opportunities or people or situations you will attract to you. But this is such a sacred moment that something is waking up. You're feeling it from somewhere, and you maybe can't even describe what it is. And I feel that it is actually more and more of this soul consciousness coming in. It's more and more of that soul consciousness that understands unconditional love, that understands that in relationships aren't about hiding or cutting off part of who you are to fit into something else. It's like squeezing into a seat. You know, when you remember when you were a kid, like when you sit on the bus, you try to squeeze onto the seat with your friends and you try to squeeze everyone in. That's, even if it's uncomfortable, that's often how we go about relationships. We try to squeeze ourselves into boxes that other people have for us. And look, he's walking out of the box. Isn't that cool? And so, you know, you're ready to leave the box. And what this means is you will have to be patient with yourself, because who and what's coming out is maybe not what you expect. But understand that this itching you're feeling, this rising up, this waking up, is your soul saying, hey, I want to be more involved with you. Your higher self saying, I want to bring more energy to you. I think this is happening with a lot of people, that the higher self is putting in more and more of its energy down into this physical body, this physical incarnation right now, because the point of our time is to expand the heart, expand the consciousness of unconditional love. And that's what you're being asked to do at the end of this all time together, is that whatever comes out, whatever hatches out of you, you're going to commit to loving it unconditionally, because you've been learning conditional love through this relationship. Now you need to learn unconditional love with yourself, and then see where that goes. All right, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you to our guides, and thank you to our higher selves for sending through this energy, sending through this information, and sending through the loving wisdom to help us get to our next better place. I'll see you soon.